Welcome back to the Fizz at Brown Carbonic. I'm your host, Shawn Salle, and with me today I got Billie Smith. We got a little mix of hospitality, a little bit of flavor, and a cold one or two to talk about. Billie is the head brewer of Good Nature Brewing, and over his course of brewing, he's got some cool medals that we'll talk about, and yeah, so Billie, you started your hopping journey at Talking Cursive alongside Andrew Brooks, the owner of Talking Cursive, and co-brewer Keith. From there, you grew to your head brewing position at Heritage Hill for many years, brewing some really creative and unique brews, some that we actually got to be a part of. Now, for the past year or so, you've taken your skills to new challenges at Good Nature. So, Billie, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you. So, tell me how you got to getting into brewing, because, when I think about it, in my opinion, I think you're a professional at what you do.
I hope so.
How did you get there? What got you to become a brewer?
So I started making beer at home, just about barely the age of drinking age, and just started with a lot of book reading and podcasts, and really, I'd always been a bookworm. So anytime I found something that I enjoyed doing, I would really delve into it, and then I'd make the decision whether or not I'd learn enough about it and continue the journey, or I'd say, okay, screw this. I learned enough. I'm no longer interested. And brewing was something that's an infinite amount of knowledge that goes into it. So there's always something to learn. There's always new challenges. And so basically I'd started from home making really shitty beer, and from there progressed into making somewhat better beer at home. I had been approached at a homebrewer meeting by two different brewery owners that were starting up breweries at the time. And one had offered me a job interview, and the other had overheard them offer me a job interview. So they snuck over and, hey. So from there, I had left my real job at the time and crunched some numbers and figured out.
What was your real job at the time?
I was a diesel mechanic.
Okay.
Working on tractor trailers, making really good money. And from there, I had crunched some numbers on the job offers and decided that I could just barely pay my bills.
Financially better.
Yeah, could barely barely pay my bills once I accepted one of these brewing jobs, but I knew that I'd be tremendously happier. So then I had accepted the better of the two lowball offers, we shall say, and started my journey there with a startup company before Talking Cursive, and that was, I want to say, 8 years ago now.
Oh, wow.
9 years ago, maybe almost.
So, there's the thing, the saying, if you love what you do, it's not really work. You actually do live that. I mean, you love brewing and you get paid to do it.
Yeah, yep. I'm glad to have finally gotten to a position with my career that financially it's sustainable, and also, it goes to say, hard work does pay off, and I no longer have to work on tractor trailers for a living.
Yeah.
So that's a plus.
Don't miss that. So you had mentioned that, there was other things that you were kind of looking into. One of them was brewing, but what were some other things that piqued your interest at the time that, you were kind of diving into a little bit and then backed off eventually?
Oh, it's a constant. I'm a hobbyist of many sorts, so it's always something.
Are you still collecting all your Beamers?
Yep, I have a large vintage BMW collection. My neighbor approached me a few weeks ago and asked me how many people live with me. I have a house by myself. He's like, man, I thought there was 5 people who live there with the amount of BMWs you have there. Yeah, I collect a bunch of clapped out vintage BMWs.
Do you work on them then too?
I do all the work myself, yeah.
So you still have that kind of mechanic sort of background.
I just don't work on anyone else's stuff anymore.
Or get paid for it.
Or get paid for it. No, I refuse. It takes the joy out of it. It took me a few years of even looking at my original BMW I've had for my E30 BMW that I've had for 12 years. I wouldn't even do any work on it for a while because it's like the old saying, The landscaper's lawn's never mowed. The mechanic's car is always broke, so on and so forth. I just didn't ever want to work on it. So it took me a few years getting out of wrenching every day to want to have that desire to do it again. But a bunch of stuff of many sorts. I downhill skateboard. I race downhill mountain bikes.
Yeah.
I have a full music jam space in my living room with a full drum set, PA system, guitar amps.
What do you play?
Everything poorly. I'm decent on drums and keys, and bass, but really just guitar is really poor. I'm left-handed and I try to play right-handed guitar.
Oh,
and it's just too many strings.
I've always wanted to play the drums, but
come on over, man.
Yeah, I think that if I did, anybody else that plays with you would probably quit.
Well, that's what just jamming
my wife
for.
makes fun of me. I have no rhythm, so I got. That's about all I got. That's all I got.
It's just practice, man, and listening along to stuff. But yeah, it's a constant. I don't know. I'm always just different hobbies all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's important to find things you enjoy doing, and even if you do then decide you don't want to do it anymore. Snowmobiling, which we still have yet to go ever.
Yeah,
we got to go this year.
I'm hoping. So I heard that the lakes are warm. Or what I hear? Yeah, the lakes are still warm, so hopefully that means we're getting some snow this year.
I figured because of how cold and rainy it's been, we might get some decent snow.
Gosh,
I feel like when it's really rainy this time of year, it's a good indicator of the fact that it's going to snow a lot, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I read something again that said that all the rain that we got could have been like 2 to 3 feet of snow.
Okay.
Which is great, but
awesome.
The problem is you need the ground to freeze first.
Right.
So if it snows before it freezes, then it's mud. But yeah, I'm hoping that we go. I live right off the trail, right?
I always forget where you live. You live in
Cicero.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll come dump it in your front yard.
So I leave my house and I go right on the trail. Go right down 31 towards Bridgeport, and one time my father and I did a loop. Did we leave from my house? No, I don't think we left from my house. But there was a different time where I left from my house and met him up on the tug.
Wow.
Yeah, I was tired after that.
Yeah, you're all beat up, and your dad's like, "All right, let's go." Yeah, shit.
I think we did 150 miles that day.
Yeah, the most I ever did. Me and two of my buddies, we got a cabin way up north, like past Hook and Ladder, and we did 260 some odd miles. Rode all night. I don't think we got back to the cabin till like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And my buddy had a couple too many Utica clubs. He flipped his snowmobile on the just a straightaway.
Oh shit!
He floored it. We all pull up on, and he's upside down, legs in the air, and we're like, "What happened?" He's like, "Man, a tree came out of nowhere." We're like, "All right." Thank God we were just about back, but
yeah. We're usually like out at like, I don't know, 7 a.m, and we're back by 2.
Yeah, that's
kind of like our usual like.
Asleep on the couch by like 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to
back
do
in time
some
for
riding.
dinner.
The trails up by Good Nature look awesome. The giant mountains and plateaus up there are insane. I watched when I had first started there last winter. I'd watched a couple of them climbing up, and it's like
they get enough snow.
Yeah, and it's like the one main hill off the main road, just pulling into Hamilton. It's like the equivalent of a ski mountain. I was watching these snowmobiles go up, so I really want to go out there and ride.
Oh yeah. So, kind of get back into your history. You went from those low-paying jobs to Talk Cursive and Heritage and now Good Nature. Throughout that journey, you've been able to come up with some really cool beers, and you've gotten some awards for that. What awards have you gotten?
Oh, I think I have. I meant to get a picture of my. I have a little display on the wall. I meant to get a picture so I could remember to talk about it, but I did not. I have 5 New York gold medal awards, silver medal in New York State as well, and my most prestigious medal is a silver medal from Great American Beer Festival, which is the biggest beer competition in the world. So that was
Is that the one that's in Denver?
Yeah, yep. That was my biggest to date.
What was that beer?
It was a coconut cluster at Heritage Hill. So it was a pastry stout with coconut cream, vanilla beans, and cocoa nibs.
So I hate coconut.
Yeah.
Coconut's not for me. But
it tasted like an almond joy melted into a glass.
Oh, man. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there would love that, but
Yeah,
not one for
it's
me.
a whole 16 ounces. I think is enough to give you diabetes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sweet, very sweet, but it was very decadent. Like it was the true embodiment of a pastry stout. Like after a big meal, drink one of those, and then take your insulin shot and take a nap on the
Dessert
couch.
in a can. Yeah. What is the one of your favorite, or the one that you enjoyed either making or drinking that you've got an award for?
Probably. It's hard to say. It's like asking my favorite kid, and I only have one that I know
That's easy.
about. I only have one that I know about. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy them all for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably say that one, even though I'm not like. It's crazy to say, but I'm not really a huge stout guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love stouts, but I'd say that one because conceptually. Adding all those different adjuncts to a beer and figuring out the percent of fruit and how much vanilla and cocoa and so on and so forth to actually add to a beer, it's a science, and there's a lot of bench trials of percent of increase to get to that point. So I like, for my hobbyist aspect, I like that part of it because it's more involved, and it's a lot easier to make a crappy version. So putting the time and effort into getting that dialed perfectly is an art. So I think that one I would say.
So you brought up one of my points. Brewing's easy. Don't you just throw everything in one of those barrels and just kind of hope and see what happens?
That's what everyone thinks. Yeah, there's a lot to it, and that's why I enjoy it because there's always something to learn, and it's crazy too when you get to a certain point in your professional career. You said you think I'm a professional, right? I think.
Yeah, think.
Yeah.
But you got a couple of awards to.
Yeah. When you get to a certain point in your brewing career, there's no sources for further knowledge. You're kind of just throwing it at the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So you get to a certain point where there's all these books and knowledge and podcasts and such. And at a certain point, and there is some, there's some professional brewing podcasts you can look and source things to, but you run into an issue. There's not like you can't chat GPT. Hey, why is this going wrong in my brewery? Everything's unique, and there's not really a huge professional source of information. So
I came up with this analogy, and you can tell me if it's crazy or if it's kind of relevant. I think brewing is like painting. You look at a wall, it's just paint. It's just looks simple. There's really nothing to it. You got a pint here, you're just drinking it. You don't really, it is what it is. But to get a perfect wall, there's so much prep work. You got to clean it.
Yep.
You got to tape it. And there's just, the more prep work you put into it, the better the end product is. Just like brewing. I mean, you have all your knowledge, you got to do all your cleaning, your sanitizing, the most important stuff of that. And if you miss a step with that, your end result is junk.
Oh yeah, you'll jeopardize your product. Also, having the proper water profile. So water's extremely important. Being able to dial in and utilize the right minerals for that is huge, as well as your pH. So minerality and pH is huge, and also there's a ton of factors. Yeah. There's different temperatures for different conversions of sugar chains and so many complex things, and it makes me wish I'd paid a little bit more attention in those classes in school, but we're here now, baby.
Yeah. There for the ride.
Yeah.
So Good Nature is a farm brewery.
We're dual licensed.
What does that mean?
So we're micro licensed. We have two different licenses. So basically I have to make at least 50 barrels of beer for each per year in order to hold the license standing. So essentially to hold the New York farm license, I only have to make 50 barrels of 60% or higher New York ingredient beer. And the only reason we do that is because I have a 24,000 pound grain silo,
mm-hmm.
and since 1886 had closed many years ago, you can't source anyone to fill silos of base malt in New York State of New York grain. So I have to use Canadian base malt for a lot of my beers, unfortunately, because I can't find anyone to fill my silo that's a New York grower. It's something I've been in talks with my buddy at New York Craft Malt about. So hopefully within the next couple of years, he'll have enough to be able to send a truck out and fill my silo.
So you have to have a brew or beer that's 60% made in New York. Is that right?
60% New York ingredients across the board.
What are those 60%? What do those ingredients look like?
Typically it would be, so for that, I've already hit my 50 barrels for the year, but I would just use New York base malt. So either Pilsner or two-row barley. And then the different hops that you use as well have to be from New York, or at least 60%. But when I do my New York beers, I try to do as close to 100% as possible. So really just switching out those New Zealand or Pacific Northwest hops with New York hops and switching out that Canadian or German or British or Belgian malt for New York malt. Which ideally I'd use all New York malt, but sourcing it right now is impossible having the silo. I'm hoping that changes because it's supporting New York agriculture is very important to the brewing industry.
For sure. So kind of break it down again. How do you brew, from start to finish?
Well, son,
let me get my notes out.
You get a big dirty bathtub. So basically it starts with a germinated barley, and right before it's actually fully germinated, it's got a live enzyme inside. So right before it basically sprouts, it's put into a kiln to do an enzymatic rest, and so the kiln stops the barley seed from turning into a plant.
Is that what so do you have that? Are you
No, that's how I get it. So then I get all these, barley seeds essentially, and I run it through a mill so it cracks it open so that that seed, that husk is it exposed, that the enzyme is out and the sugar is exposed. So then it's levered in, and hot water actually activates different versions of that sugar chain, different temperature. Water activates different things as far as complex sugar chains. So then you lever it in with hot water, and that it wakes that enzymatic reaction back up and continues to do a starch conversion. So from there, it's starting. You're turning the seed into hot sugar water, basically.
Like in a hot mash, is that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So you're basically turning into hot sugar water, and from there you let it sit, finish your conversion, and you slowly draw your sugar barley tea, which is called wort. You pull your sugar water away from the grain and push it into your boil kettle, and boil it. Do your hop additions. Push it out at anywhere between 100 and 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and then you add your yeast. And in anywhere from 2.5 to 12 weeks, you'll have different kinds of beer. 2.5
to 12 weeks?
Yeah,
Why 12?
So lager is a different strain of Saccharomyces yeast. So the lager yeast takes a good deal longer. It ferments a lot colder. It's a really nasty fermentation. There's a lot of gross flavors and smells to the beautiful light beer we all enjoy. It just takes a lot longer to clean up, and you got to baby it. So my lagers, I do 10 to 12 weeks. Some people push them a lot quicker. There's a lot of different additives you can add and stuff, but for certain things, I'm a true purist and don't add gimmicky stuff like that.
So you make the real stuff.
I make the real stuff.
What type of beer do you enjoy the most in brewing?
Well, for a while now, it's been NA. I haven't been drinking for a good while now. But lager beer, light beer is my favorite. I think about beer all, 50, 60 hours a week. So the last thing that I ever want to think about when I go home is, oh, what hops are in this? Or, I don't want to think. I want mindless beverages.
So are you making NAs now?
No. Basically, to make NAs the way that I want to make them, it's about $150,000 in equipment.
So what's slowing you down?
I just bought the private jet, so.
But you bought them out of order.
Yeah, I know it. No, it's something we've talked about getting, but it's not really. It doesn't fit the budget momentarily.
Mm-hmm.
But to make NAs the way that I would like to, the proper way to do it, in my opinion, it's a good deal of money. And there's alternative ways, but the other ways are basically the yeast only eats a certain amount of the alcohol, a certain amount of the sugar, so it tastes like a barely fermented beer. Versus the way that I would want to do it is there's a machine that strips the alcohol. It's a de-alcoholizer, and then it actually the other side of it is it adds the liquid back, because as you're stripping alcohol, it takes a good percentage of the liquid out.
Yeah.
So it's a de-aerated water machine that adds unoxygenated water back to your product as you're stripping the alcohol out.
Sounds like a $150,000 machine.
Yeah, but then it actually tastes like a finished beer, because it's a finished beer. You're removing, a percent of the liquid out, versus the rested fermentation stuff is just, it's god awful.
Yeah.
It's like the athletic brewing. I don't like those at all. It tastes like
not for me.
Half fermented beer.
Do you think the market is shifting that way?
I think the market's shifting towards marijuana beverages. I've seen that pretty much take over several of the beer stores in the area, and I understand they need to stay relevant and keep their doors open and such. And I do think it'll come back around, and the craft beer will share the market with the marijuana industry. But as of late, and as of the past eight or more months, the marijuana ready-to-drink beverages have dominated the market. It's definitely put a little stamp on the craft beer market lately.
Yeah, I think that a common theme is that breweries were thriving, just thriving maybe 3 years ago. Just get out of COVID, everyone is still drinking, and you look at today, I think that breweries are tighter on what they're doing, just being a little bit more conscious of how they grow or what they're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the market will come back around. It's because the marijuana market's in the drink ready form is so new to New York State. It's a little bit of a shock factor, and all the closet stoners are coming out and ripping, going to the bar or wherever and just ripping down some 10 milligram THC drinks.
Yeah. Yeah. So one thing that I mentioned in the beginning is that when you were at Heritage Hill, we got to brew something with you. We made it was called Part Tea.
Part Tea, hard tea.
It was what kind of beer was that?
So it was actually the base of it was a hard seltzer. So just simple sugar and 100% reverse osmosis water.
Okay. So it was a seltzer, and our part of it was it was a lemonade and tea version of our soft drink that you added in after brewing. Is that right? Yeah.
So after the base product was completely done fermenting and sitting cold for a while, long enough to pull the yeast out, we would then sulfite it and add the tea and lemonade, or we did a few different variations actually. We'd add the tea and lemonade. Again, that was all bench trialing, figuring out the percent of increase across the small sample board. We would add that all cold, and the end product was delicious. That product still to this day is reign supreme at that brewery.
I was hoping you were going to bring some. I still haven't had any yet.
Yeah. Okay.
No, actually, I had it in my fridge, and I meant to bring it.
You still have some?
Yeah. Just as it's like an award for us. I think I can't say that there's many non-brewery companies that get to collab. So it was something very cool, and that I appreciate the opportunity to be a part of it. So I kind of think of it as more of an award that we can look back and say that we were in that, and we were a really big part of it. And I think that at one point we were down with Petro, right? And we did a little bit of did we mix it down with Petro, right?
Oh yeah, we did. We've done a few collabs actually now. Yeah, we did. We also did a shandy with your lemonade as well.
Oh yeah.
So we did the Party Hardy at Heritage Hill, and then with Heritage Hill and McGraw Box, we did pink lemonade.
Okay.
We did a pink lemonade shandy. So we took basically a light blonde ale, and again, same deal. Post fermentation, we added some pink lemonade and created a shandy, which is usually a summer drink that they take a beer and then in the glass they would blend in a percent of lemonade. So we basically skipped the blending in the glass part and just added it right to the fermenter, and that product came out awesome too.
Yeah, I remember really enjoying that one. We'll have to. Maybe we got another collab coming up.
Yeah, we'll do something.
So I really I look at that and I was just like, that's cool. It's neat for us to be as a vendor to be part of a collab. So it was really cool.
We should do a hard soda.
Yeah, like a
hard root beer, yeah. Or like blend some seltzer base with your Matador. Make like a.
That's probably not legal.
Why?
Get rid of those.
No, we'll make like an old school Four Loko.
Yeah.
Microbrewery style.
They don't need to bring Four Locos back.
We won't. We'll call it Five Loco.
Gosh, those are interesting times.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, I don't miss Four Locos. It was weird.
We should do like a hard root beer.
Even the Four Locos nowadays aren't the same as what they were before.
How would you know, sir?
I had a couple. Yeah, I got more stories about that, but we're not going to share that on air.
Oh, that's funny.
So, kind of back to your brewing and whatnot. What's something that like experimental that you haven't tried that you dreamed of doing one day?
I'd like to. I mean, I've only done it once. The one thing that would like to do more. I've really checked off a lot of the boxes with experimenting beer-wise. I would like to do more open fermentation, spontaneous fermentation stuff. There's these things called cool ships that are commonly found in Belgium and Europe, and there's a few in the States, but essentially it's a big open vat, and you brew a specific kind of beer that's, can withstand several years of aging in oak barrels, but you leave it out. It has to be a perfect, 38 degree Fahrenheit to 45 degree Fahrenheit night. You leave it out overnight to cool, and wild yeast, the perfect wild yeast is in the atmosphere at those temperatures, and that inoculates those yeasts fall into the beverage, and then you pump it into wine barrels and let it sit and age for several years. I've only done that once at Heritage Hill, and I still have 5 barrels full out there. I need to get back over there and blend them at a certain point.
How long?
But I'd like to do more of that stuff.
How long does that take? Did you say years?
So ideally, in Belgium they have a 3-year blend called a goose, or it's called goose. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's what it looks like it says. And that's a 1 year, 2 year, and 3 year all blended together at a certain percentage. That's what I always plan on doing, but the farmer at Heritage Hill had ran into my makeshift cool ship with the tractor and just about crunched it in half. So I took an old dairy tank and cut it down, spent weeks measuring and remeasuring and fabricating this dairy tank to have the perfect specs for the right surface area. The right specs to actually not just be a big open vat. It has to have nice surface area to the atmosphere.
So there's so much to brewing that, as a consumer, you don't really get to learn. You don't understand how much there goes into everything that you drink. I mean, there's so much to it, and I think that as your typical consumer, you just don't always get that appreciation. So, one of the things I love doing is going to all these different breweries that we service, and you learn, how you do stuff, how, the next brewer does things, and everyone's a little bit different
Yeah.
in kind of how they do stuff. At the end, they all make their own beer, but you get to enjoy, the story,
Yeah.
of how that brewer got there, or that owner, got to brewing, and whether they quit their real job, if you will, making, whatever money to become a brewer and, enjoy their work and doing what they love, and kind of going about that way.
Yeah, absolutely.
What keeps you passionate about brewing? What keeps you going day after day to brew beer?
It's always just nice to see people enjoying my products, my hard work. I'm currently the only person in the manufacturing facility at Good Nature, and I have been since I started. But so it is, sometimes it is easy to lose a little bit of motivation, self motivation. So just going to the tap room and talking to people and seeing how they enjoy the products and such, I feel like
you're a bartender now, right?
I bartend sometimes.
Is there a more professional way to say that? Professional beer pourer?
Yeah, beer made. No.
There you go.
Some breweries call it like a draft beer, a draft specialist. I'm like, no, no, the brewer is just pouring your beer today. That's it. Which I do enjoy doing that here and there, because it's the interaction. People enjoy talking to the brewer, and I'll randomly give people tours, and that seems to be a big hit always. But just that interaction, seeing people enjoy my hard work,
literally
keeps me motivated.
You.
Yeah, I feel like the best way to it's got to be how a painter feels to see someone admire their work, and the best way I can compare it as well is when I was a performing musician. Like, it's the same thing, seeing someone enjoy the product of your hard work.
So you've been to many breweries around Central New York, maybe all of them. What is one that you haven't been to? It can be either in Central New York or outside New York or wherever. What's one that you want to go to and, just be a tourist for a day?
I have yet to go to a Single Cut in Manlius, and they've been open for, 3 or 4 years now. And I feel terrible because I've never visited it. So I'd like to check that out. But I've probably hit over 100 breweries in Central New York, or New York rather. One that I haven't hit, actually, yes, I thought of one. Plan B, I would really
Where's
like
that?
to. Up in the Hudson Valley area, he does almost entirely wild fermentation, spontaneous fermentation stuff.
Is it a smaller brewery then? Is it?
No, it's fairly large. He's got a really neat story. He was as he calls it, a washed up musician, and he started him and his wife opened up like a self-sustainable farm, and with a focus on bees, and his plan B was brewing. So like he actually inoculates, he gets the wild yeast in some cases in his beers. He's done it from different pieces of the hive, different kinds of honey. He's even like put some deceased bees in the liquid.
What?
I think that's unless that's a rumor. It could very well be a rumor.
We'll just go with the rumor until you find out.
But he's a really cool guy.
Neat.
I met him when we did Bright Vibes at Heritage Hill. I was super excited he actually performed there, played an acoustic set, and I was really excited for him to try some of my wild fermented stuff, my Cool Ship beer. And we ended up hanging out and drinking beer. He gave me a bunch of Magnums, 1.75 liter bottles. So I'd really like to get out there and check that brewery out, Plan B.
Is Bright Vibes still a thing?
Bright Vibes? No.
Yeah. Do you think it'll ever come back?
It would be cool. It was kind of a wash. It was a really good turnout, but the amount of money invested versus turnout wasn't great. So I think they've taken that initial budget and split it off into several other smaller
Yeah.
things spread out across the state. It would be really neat. I had a blast. That was a really fun weekend.
I remember there was one at brewery in Cooperstown. What is that?
They shut
Home again.
Home again.
yeah.
Yeah.
Belgian comes to Cooperstown, BCTC.
Could be.
A Bright Vibes, yes.
Yeah, Bright
Bright
Vibes at
Bright
Omegang.
Vibes 3 years ago was at.
There's people camping
Yes,
everywhere.
Yeah,
and
yep. And then
That was a
and then it was
big
at
time.
Heritage Hill, and then it was supposed to be at Heritage Hill again. They canceled it or postponed it. And then this year, Belgium comes to Cooperstown, which has been a huge beer festival at Omegang for years and years and years. Finally made a return. This is my first year ever getting invited to pour at it, so I was ecstatic because I've always wanted to be a part of that. And with a week to go before the event, Omegang let everyone know that they're going to refund the tickets, and
Oh shit.
they didn't get enough ticket sales to put it on this year. So that was kind of upsetting.
That does.
But I bet if we had a weed drink, if a festival for just weed drinks, oh man.
Do you ever foresee Good Nature go in that direction?
If we opened a separate facility, you cannot manufacture hemp or THC beverages in the same facility as though you produce alcoholic beverages.
Why is that? Do you think that's more of a legal thing, or is there actually like a production reason you don't?
I think it's federal law, and I don't think it's a New York State law. I think it's federal. A buddy of ours, got in trouble for doing that.
Interesting.
So, yeah, I don't think you can't manufacture both in the same facility, which sucks. But
yeah, so
I did it once.
You did it once?
Yeah, and your dad was there that day.
You don't have to say where it was, but
It was at Heritage Hill.
oh,
I applied for my cannabis manufacturing and retail license. Sent in a COA, a certificate of analysis from the water-soluble Delta 8 THC that I had gotten from co-packing for this company. And the company gave me the go-ahead to make my own version. So basically, I'd canned a bunch of this Delta 8 THC seltzer, co-packed it for this startup THC company years and years ago. And they said I had a bunch of the weed sauce left over, water-soluble weed extract,
Weed
basically.
sauce.
And they gave me the go. I'm like, can I make my own product of this? They're like, yeah, go ahead. So I did all my legal paperwork, applied for it, got it, and I was pushing it out hot. The water aspect hot. I was pushing out hot water, so it was sterile into the tank, and I was going to just dissolve the water-soluble THC into the tank, and I had the top of the tank open. Well, it had steamed the whole room up.
You got everyone high.
And your dad was there for...
No wonder he was in a good mood.
Your dad was there for a repair that day. He was adding something to our CO2.
That's funny.
And yeah, the whole room steamed up. I didn't know. No one knew that would happen.
Everyone was just happy.
Everyone was in a great mood. The farmer looks at me and he says, "Wow, my hand." He's like, "Did someone just turn the lights up?" Oh, and the next thing you know, we were all just laughing our asses off to the point of tears. Everyone had put about a 2-hour delay on their entire rest of their afternoon because it was like 5 o'clock. We were all ready to go home. And the next thing you know, we're all just sitting in the brewery, in the production facility, just like, well, we all got to stay here for a little bit now.
Could
just
be worse.
laughing, shooting the wind.
That's funny.
Yeah, it was great.
So you got talking about, I don't even know what triggered this, but you used to make hot sauce in a bottle, right?
Yeah.
You still owe me a bottle?
Probably, yeah.
Because were you like selling them or were you giving them away?
I had put a feeler out for selling them and took a bunch of pre-sales, and then I never ended up...
Never
I never
delivered.
But yeah, I was doing fermented hot sauces for a while. My garden didn't do very well this year. I have a 20 by 20 that I usually do, but my next door neighbor's tree, they didn't trim these 2 large trees, so I got horrible sunlight this year. And so my garden didn't do very well. Usually I have enough to I'll do 50 gallons, 40 to 50 gallons of fermented hot sauce a year.
40 to 50 gallons of hot
Yeah,
sauce.
and I supplement with some other peppers, but like a lot of it's peppers from my garden. I do fermented salsas as well, but yeah, I'll supplement with some peppers from a garden out in Pompey. I buy bushels of his peppers and use those as well. But yeah, I think I did like 70 gallons one year. I was doing fermented sauce for the kitchen at Heritage Hill, and Dan Palladino, the founder and owner of Heritage Hill, named the sauce Billie XXX. I'm like, dude, it sounds like you're ordering me to come out as in record a porno. Billie's XXX, which I'm sure people would order too. You know?
Yeah. People love it. So, am I ever gonna get that bottle? Are you still making now?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna. It's hard because my backyard is so shady now. I didn't want to be the person on my street to put my garden in my front yard, but I don't really even care at this point. I'm gonna have to move it. I get way better direct sunlight out there, so yes, I'll give you 2 bottles for collateral.
2.
But yeah, I'm gonna have to move my whole garden to my front yard.
I put a garden in. Shoot, I think it was like COVID when there's like nothing else to do.
Yeah,
put a garden in, and I don't know. We got our veggies. It was for a first time gardener, I guess it turned out to be okay. So the next year, I doubled it. I made it twice as big. It turned out okay. Third year, I think I started with putting the peppers or the seeds in the cups and trying to grow it, and I think we went out of town for like a couple weeks. I come back home and they're all just dead. So that garden at that point, that was year 3, just didn't grow.
Yeah.
But what did grow was the mint.
Oh,
so
everywhere.
The mint just kept growing.
Yep.
And then that was year 3. Now we're at year 5 because I didn't do it again last year. The mint has taken over the entire thing. And you can just walk near it and you can just smell it.
Yeah. Mint's invasive.
I don't drink enough mojitos to make it worthwhile, though.
Well, you could dry it and make some loose leaf mint tea. I drink a lot of mint tea.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, just leave them out on the windowsill to dry, and you just even if you just put it in one of those tea strainers, it makes awesome tea.
I don't know if it's still alive.
It'll grow back. It's what do you call it? Perennial.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it's doubled every year. And,
yeah.
I mean, it's taken over the whole garden now.
Yeah.
I'm worried that it's going to start taking
your house
growth
over?
into my lawn.
Yeah, I mean it's invasive. I started gardening the same exact way actually too. During COVID, I thought that the food system would collapse, and I'm like, oh, I bought like a bunch of canned products, and I'm like, I'm gonna start my garden. I'll be able to. We'll be eating canned goods always. And luckily, the only thing we ran out of during COVID was toilet paper, so
yeah,
that was good. But I did figure out I had a bit of a green thumb and enjoyed doing it.
It definitely tastes better, and
it does.
It's cool that I'd be grilling, and
I'd be grilling.
I would be grilling, and you can just walk off my deck down in my lawn, and pick which vegetable I want to make, whether it's peppers or throw tomatoes on it or zucchini. We were getting zucchinis that were like this big. Yeah. And they were too big for us to eat. Yeah. Per se.
Yeah, zucchini you want to pull a little earlier. For some reason, you'd think the bigger they are, the better they get, but they lose their flavor the bigger they get. I've heard that, yeah. But yeah, it's fresh zucchini and squash, nothing beats it. Throw it right on the grill. Yeah. Oh, that's the best.
That was but that's the best part about it. It's just like brewing. It's all that setup. It's all you go from, prepping the garden beforehand to growing from a little seed, for a few weeks, and you kind of nurture it. Yeah. And then you have to put it in the garden, and you still have to nurture it, and it's a whole process to get to the end product.
Yeah, I skipped the seeding part. I just go and buy like whatever you'd call them, clones, basically, when they're about yay high, because starting from seeds, you're like 50-50 if you're going to get them to sprout. So I just go to different farmers markets or different shops around here, and I'll just go and buy them when they're about this big.
So I did that for year 3. I think it was year 3, maybe it was year 2 where I was kind of lazy. I tried buying the ones that you just throw in. I still killed them. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to leave them in their pot until they're big enough to then replant. But
I think I planted them early, so the frost hit them.
Yep. That'll do it.
Yeah, it is what it is. Now I just got out of gardening and on buy my vegetables at the store.
Yeah, it's definitely cheaper, but it's not as fun. I have my setup now. I have my hose rigged up to a timer, and I have
I wanted to do
an
that.
auto irrigation system. So
That's awesome.
it waters it twice a day for 20 minutes. But it's not like a crazy. It's just like a spritz.
Yeah.
20 minutes twice a day. You just have to go out and weed and pick your
Mm-hmm.
plants. But again, my garden would have been the best it would have ever done. However, it didn't get shit for sunlight this year. So next year it'll be lucrative.
So I bought an apple tree and I think it's a pear tree last fall, kind of, so I can get some fruit, same idea. Is some fresh fruit and
You have me one of those? Tissue?
Yeah.
Actually, 2 of them.
Here, just take the box.
What? I spilled my coffee.
Yeah, that's all right. So I planted the apple tree and the pear tree.
Yeah.
And just kind of like waiting for it to grow. And over the wintertime, we got so much snow that when it packed down, the rabbits were like 2 feet in the air. So they just ate the branches up. So I get into this summer and, I probably failed at this, but I probably didn't water enough. But I'm watering it, hoping and praying that it's going to come up with some fruit. And it turned out that it's dead. So I need to rip those out and try again. But same idea as I wanted to get some fresh fruit from my backyard.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. I got to buy it from the store again.
Yep. Yeah, it's it's something worth learning, but sometimes it's like you got to just cut your losses and apples from the store.
Yeah.
But fresh pears are the best, man.
I didn't know that you could even grow pears in upstate New York until like I was at the store and you can buy a pear tree. And I was like, oh shit.
Growing up, we had 2 or 3 pear trees. We had a little grape vineyard, trellises rather, that you could walk under and pick the grapes. Me and my friends growing up, we used to have fights with them. My dad loved to see that. He'd get so pissed. Stop wasting all that. Yeah, we would just whip them at each other. You'd come in with a white shirt on, you're just stained all purple. And we had some pear trees and some. I had a peach tree that made the best peaches, which it seems weird. Like you'd think that peaches of all things, because you'd think of it as like a tropical fruit almost. Mm-hmm. They grow phenomenal in New York State. The peaches that we had on our property were phenomenal. Big, juicy peaches.
I remember, I think back to when I was a kid.
50 years ago?
No, stop. It's getting there. But like my mom had a garden and she had, I don't know what was on the left-hand side, but it was like strawberries and then raspberries. And I'm sure there was zucchinis in there and cucumbers.
Yeah.
And on the other side, there was blackberries. And like, I remember as a kid, like, loving to go back there, and sometimes I got yelled at because I was picking it too early, but you still got to enjoy it. And as I look at my daughter, that hopefully I can put a garden together where she can go outside and enjoy it. Because, I have those memories, and as basic as that is, it was pretty cool that we had that.
Yeah, absolutely. Those are the things that we want to instill in our children. Even if it is you scolding her for picking them too early, it's something that'll be engraved,
Still PTSD over that.
Yeah.
You'll be okay. But so, kind of jump back to Good Nature. What is something that can get more people to enjoy Good Nature? What is something that draws customers there?
It is neat because it is a destination location. It's a little bit out of the beaten path, but it's conveniently between Syracuse and Utica. So it's a nice little drive, especially this time of the year. It's beautiful foliage. And we've recently brought in a very good friend of mine as the chef. And he's transformed the kitchen and made very affordable but delicious food items. We're doing these things called panuzzos.
Can you spell that?
No. No. Panouzzo. It's Italian for I don't know.
It's all right. What is
but
it?
it's delicious. We have a wood-fired oven, pizza oven, and basically my good friend Kyle Master Pietro, he takes pizza dough and they will fold it in half and put olive oil in the middle, and they put it in the wood-fired oven until it gets all nice and bubbly and crispy, and then they cut it so that it's now open face again. And you basically use that as the bread for sandwiches instead of like a calzone. So, and it's not traditional calzone fillings. It's my favorite one currently. Well, they're all really good, but my favorite one, it's hand breaded chicken cutlets on it with made in house hot tomato oil and fresh made everyday mozzarella on the top. So they put all of that in there. They close the sandwich and put it back in the wood-fired oven to get the cheese all melty and bubbly. And it's just incredible because it's like something I've never had before.
Yeah,
I've never
sounds good.
seen it on a menu anywhere. So the food's a big draw. The different beers, we have some specialty beers that I only have in-house. Like, for example, right now for the month of October, I have a pumpkin pie blonde. So it's got all of the delicious pumpkin pie spices, but it's very deceptive because it's a pale beer in color. You know, it's pale yellow, light beer. But you drink it and it tastes like you're eating a slice of pumpkin pie.
Really?
So that's neat.
And you can only get that at Good Nature?
Yep. Well, yeah, for the most part, yeah. It's available at one other select account, which I'm not going to say because we're blasting Heritage or we're blasting Good Nature right now. Shit. We're blasting Good Nature. But yeah, the food's an incredible draw. The view, the drive, obviously the beer. There's a huge outdoor space. We have live music booked all through the winter.
I remember I've gone there and you know, not just the inside of brewery space, but you know, outside there's picnic tables, and it's definitely a intriguing kind of environment.
Yeah.
To go to.
Yeah, it's nice. It's definitely a drive, but it's a really awesome drive, and it's definitely worth going out there just to view the atmosphere.
What's it, like 40 minutes from Syracuse?
Yeah, give or take 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's an hour.
How fast you drive?
Yeah. Yeah, it depends on what car I take that day.
Very cool. Yeah, so Good Nature, doing some good stuff. What do you see in the next like 5 years for you?
Retirement, I hope.
On your way there?
No.
You have a daughter you gotta provide for now.
I think just continue to grow in my career. I hope to be with this company. The company is up for sale. And it's been for sale. So hopefully with the new buyers, we will I'll stay with them and we'll continue to build and grow. But if not, I think I would take on some sort of brewery consulting position, probably start my own company. I have some plans to open my own. I'm going to be starting my own beverage brand that I'm launching out of Good Nature. And I've been fully transparent, and the owners have been fully supportive of me launching my own beverage brand out of there.
Cool.
But I can't really speak much on that yet. Stay tuned for that. Very excited for that. But yeah, that's my 5-year forecast. I think I hope to be with them. It gives me a great opportunity to do such things as experiment with my own product line, and also help to continue to grow the brand there. We have one of the largest facilities in the area, and
it's one of the first too, right?
Yeah, I think it was the first in the county that it's in, and it was one of the very first in farm breweries in New York State as well.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I think circling back, I think everyone should be excited and keep an eye out for the next Brown Carbonic's Billie Smith collab. We're going to do something fun. Maybe even if there's one of these fellow brewers listening, we'll showcase it at CBC at the Brown Carbonics booth. Now I just stuck Shawn with having to bring his jockey box back.
I still have it.
Nice. Yeah. I think that would be cool. Yeah, keep an eye out for another collab with us. I think that would be awesome to do something. I think a hard soda would be in our.
A couple different flavors we can go.
That would be cool. I think that'd be a big seller. And if not, well, at least we tried.
Yeah, we could root beer. I know root. So like root beer and orange are like ones that like have been done before, but we could put our own taste on it.
Yeah, I think absolutely.
We could try birch beer. Birch beer would be.
Do you guys make birch beer?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome.
It'd be unique.
I've never tried your birch beer.
Have you ever been to Heights?
No.
Never been to Heights either.
Oh, in Liverpool.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
So Heights serves our birch beer.
Okay. I didn't know that. I'll have to go get a glizzy and some birch beer, man.
Yeah.
Go get a Hoffman's dog, dude. Get a little dog in you.
Yeah. But I think birch beer's got like I think it's like a kind of a cherry sort of flavor to it.
Okay.
Mixed with root beer. So I think it would be different than your normal root beer.
Yeah.
Seltzers,
that would be
whatever
cool.
they're called.
A hard birch beer. I'm in with that.
Okay.
That would be really nice.
I'll sell you a box later.
Sweet.
But anyways, Billy.
Yes, sir.
It's been fun. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate you sharing your insight, your little knowledge that you've gone over the 10 years or whatnot. But I mean, reality, you've been crushing it. You've been doing some good stuff. I'm looking forward to what you got coming. Birch beer, seltzer, whatever it's called.
Absolutely.
I think you're going to keep crushing it. Keep doing your thing. Again, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Appreciate you always, my friend.
Fizz at Brown Carbonic. Have a good day.
Cheers.